And I'm doing my 10 project. And this is the second project of my interpersonal communications class. And I watched the TED Talks video on body language and what it can do for you. As I was watching this, immediately, my first thought was I adjusted my posture. I tried to sit up straight, put my shoulders back, my head up tall, all that sort of thing. And I sort of kind of started prepping myself for the video and that sort of thing. And I actually ended up saying, I got other stuff to do. I'll go do that quick, and I'll come right back. Paused the video, went and did it. Threw on nice shirts, cleaned myself up a little bit, and I did all of this while doing this sort of one of the strengthening poses that she had talked about. And I gotta admit, I feel great. Energetic. I mean, it isn't the crazed energetic that I was feeling earlier. Scrambling to try and finish this book report that I had going since, 3 weeks ago when I was having trouble with it. And, I got that done, started to relax, and I watched the beginning of this video, started taking the tips into consideration. And all in all, I mean, it sort of changed the way I looked at the day. I thought immediately, you just need to relax. Relax, think rational, and everything else kind of starts to fall into place. And watching this video, I got to agree, body language can change someone's life. I'm pretty sure one job interview I had, I didn't get it because I went in there and I was very, very nervous, terrified. First job I'd ever applied to. And I tried looking confident, and my leg kept bouncing, couldn't stop it. Kept touching my neck and my face, and like you said in the video, that is a strong sign of a weaker stance. You're trying to protect the vital organs right through here. And as I was going through it, I kind of started to ramble. My speech didn't follow any really fluid plan. It just jumped from place to place to place. That didn't go over too well. I had a friend who worked there who said he'd help me out, and I think he bailed on me too. But I didn't get the job primarily because I was sitting in that position. And now, thinking back on my life and what all I do on a normal daily basis is what I think stances are very relaxing actually turn out to be these power stances. I'm not a very confident person. I'm not very outgoing. My new job has changed that drastically. I interact with people on a daily basis, and it kind of forces me to be confident, be courteous, and just be out there. I've been noticing that I have tendencies to stage hog and stuff like that, but that's becoming less and less. And even when I do stage hog, I think it's because I'm still not that good at communicating. But it also ties into when I'm relaxed, when I'm in a good mood, yes, I need these power stances. But say I'm sitting down or something, I'm always in a weaker stance. And I don't know if it's because my back is messed up. It has been for a very long time. Or if it's just because in certain positions, certain things like that, certain moves, I just generally feel weaker. I'm not sure at all. But from what she said in the video, mentioned that body language can change your life. And one of the things that just stood out to me is actually that a doctor who's more antisocial body movements, if there's any accident or anything like that, he's much more likely to be sued for malpractice. Much more likely. If his body posture's off. I just kind of thought, are you kidding? That seems ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know why that would be. But I guess that's just part of human nature, these subconscious things that we pick up on. And, subconsciously we pick up that, this guy, he's something's a little off with him. And if something happens during surgery, then, of course, that's just going to confirm your thoughts, and, yeah, you will feel more inclined to sue him. She also touched on how emoticons can actually bring more to an online conversation. Meaning, you're having this kind of sort of boring conversation. The other person's always one-sided. The typical LOL sort of response, one word. I hate that. I don't know how many times I've talked about that in these videos, how much I hate these one-sided conversations. But one-sided conversations with emoticons, I've noticed that it's a bit more tolerable. It does bring more to the conversation, and it makes me feel like, hey, maybe this isn't a lost cause. It's interesting how we could even picture something like the human face. Say they send me a smiley or something like that, just plain smiley face emoticon, and we picture their face, and that can be interpreted as body language, even if it's just in our brains. And I just I don't know how to transition right now, but that sort of thing, when we just picture something in our minds, it can change the conversation very, very quickly. If their body language is off, we might take a more defensive or offensive stance depending on what the conversation is about. If they're showing signs of strength, like she said, we tend to react the opposite way. We tend to react more meekly. We try to kind of lower ourselves a little bit, make ourselves smaller if someone's yelling at us, or something that I don't understand, though, is our emotions tend to propel us in the other direction. If someone's confronting us with aggression or anger or anything like that, how that creates more aggression and anger in us. Instead of becoming fully meek, we might be meek for just a little bit, and then we take on this offensive stance. I don't know if after someone attacks someone, all of their anger, all of this sort of thing, that they finally start to back down, if that's possibly a reason, and subconsciously we just pick up on that, or if it's truly just our anger and all these emotions that are brewing inside of us that sort of override that desire, that need to shield ourselves from the attacker and go on the offensive. If I could ask her any question, it would be that: can we override this at all? But, as she said, we can control them. I don't know if we can override them with our emotions, but we can control them. Simply changing up a body stance, even if you're not feeling it, can change how you feel. Say you're really pissed off mood or anything like that. Simply taking a pencil and it's going like this, forcing yourself to smile, you start to feel happier. And if we can subconsciously or even consciously begin to start to control these things, force ourselves to smile, force ourselves to, stand up stronger and stuff like that, we could really start to change how we live our lives. Social anxiety disorders, that sort of thing, we could possibly start using therapies like this to combat sort of afflictions like that, fears like that. And honestly, for a lot of people I know, that would be life-changing. But simply making oneself bigger isn't all that. I mean, someone could be generally big and still be diminutive. They could still be on the defensive constantly. And we probably wouldn't notice it. Generally, bigger people feel bigger because, well, they are bigger. And they already have that disposition to look down on others because of how large they physically are. Am I saying that all large people are going to end up being bullies? No, not at all. I know plenty of people who fit the whole gentle giant persona. But that sort of large physical disposition could actually factor in to one of the power stances. They could already be feeling that power. And according to what I saw in the video, primarily women are the ones to generally take the weak stance, the more powerless stance. But like I said before, I take a lot of both. I take a lot of the smaller stances depending on how comfortable I am, the weaker stance. And in my high school, that's pretty much all I took throughout the day was the weaker stance. And generally, I was ignored, which is pretty much what I was at. I didn't really want to socialize with anyone. If I were to have taken a larger, more confident stance, there was a time when I was much more popular with people there, 5 years ago or so. And I was taking those confident stances, and I was really nonchalant about things, and a lot of people would agree with that, they liked that. And I sort of started making friends then and there, so the stances, that sort of reinforces the fact that the stances can, in fact, change our situations in our life. Let me talk about role changes for a little bit. And in the video, she did an experiment. Very well done, professionally done. And she went about it in a very sophisticated way. She had people, she did two, I'm mistaken. She had people come in and just do the, the power stances, the victory thing. Even if you're blind, you haven't seen anything, she said in the video, your general first emotion is just smile and cheer and throw your hands in the air. And that's just one of our primal instincts. I'm guessing a lot of these stances and that sort of thing are exactly like that. What was it? Oh yeah, the role change thing. Well, if you force it, you will begin to feel it, like I said earlier. And say you force happiness, or I'm guessing it's a lot easier, at least for me, it'd be a lot easier to fake positive emotions than negative ones. I can't seriously make myself be angry at someone. I can't seriously just start yelling at someone for no reason. I mean, I could do it if I was joking, but trying to do it seriously to get myself in that mindset, I don't know if that would be possible. However, if you could feign the negative emotions along with the positive, you would have a relatively virtual control over your emotions, your moods, and being said, in the second experiment, there was an air of hopelessness that she instilled as one of the variables, and that was it was a job interview, 5-minute job interview. The interviewer was trained and instructed to not give any sort of nonverbal communication. So basically, just sit there like this for 5 minutes, asking questions vague. And according to her, that is torturous. Those are her words too. Most people would rather, I can't remember what she said. Most people would rather have someone yelling at them than sit through something like that. I don't know how I feel about that. I've never been in that situation. I hope I never will be. But it helped her get a real, unbiased view. These are honest emotions. The only problem I could foresee with it is that this air of confidence that they had might slowly diminish as they were in there with the communicator. Even if they were just trying to fake it, it might be kind of difficult. But what happened is, the whole point of the experiment was that these recordings were then sent to a group of people. People were random, and they did not know who was having the power stance or the weak stance. They all chose, they're like, oh yeah, I want to hire him. All of the people with the power stances were chosen. And it does date back to our sort of primal instinct about trying to be bigger, trying to be more dominant, trying to be stronger, and using that sort of superiority to rule over others and sort of rule over others and continue to pass on those genes, I think. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's pretty well based, considering what I seen in the video. The one thing that I noticed is, as she was doing these, as she was giving this speech, towards the end she broke down. She was talking about, she got into a car accident, very bad one. She was thrown out of the car, and she got hurt, and it actually damaged her IQ by 2 points. And she was going to, I can't remember what school, if she was already at Princeton or if she transferred there. And one day she was going to quit, and this teacher gave this huge lecture, like a "you can do it" sort of thing, and she did. And the teacher basically told her, if you can't make it happen, fake it until you can make it happen. And that's exactly what she did. She ended up doing very, very well. And she went on to Harvard. In her first year of Harvard, a girl came to her with the same exact problem. And this also ties into I believe, it might be a coincidence, but the possibility that females are more susceptible to the whole weaker stance sort of thinking. But it might just have to look at the draw thing and see that there's two. Anyways, she came to the speaker and said the same exact thing. I don't know if I can keep going with this. I want to quit. And the speaker, that's the first time she really realized that's not who she was anymore. She had forced herself to change that sort of thinking. And she had become just that. And this student that she gave the same speech that she'd gotten from her teacher at Princeton, the student went on the same thing she did. And from what she said, it maybe surpassed what she did, which I think is very impressive to not only admit that on stage that you had gone through this, but that you had changed. You had inspired someone else to change. And they might have even changed more than you. That being said, it was very brave of her, but I noticed her stance. Her stance was giving the exact opposite sort of sensation. She had a headset on, so her hands and her legs were free. She took a weaker stance as she was giving this speech. She she didn't have her hands crossed in her chest, like as she was walking around, but she wanted to, and I could see that because they were very close together, but they never quite made contact. And I wish towards the end the majority of the speech focused on her face. I wish I could have seen more of her body language. From what I saw, she was taking a weaker stance. Her legs were very close together. She was slumped forward a little bit, less confident looking. And it was just bizarre and ironic to notice that this person was talking about being brave, talking about changing all of this. And in a way, she was sort of relapsing. Now, this just kind of proves the fact that even if we can change ourselves consciously, subconsciously, there will always be an element that we cannot control. She was under a lot of pressure there, and it showed that she had reverted back to that meek sort of person that she used to be. I'm not going to say it was entirely the same. I'm not going to criticize her for it. She was under a lot of pressure. But once you start hearing about these things, you know it's and that's what I saw in it. I realized that I do that sometimes too. And so I'm going to try to change that. Hopefully I can